The following program does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to This House of Musicians radio show with your host, singer, songwriter, and founder of the band, Inner City Outlaws, the Baritone Bear, Mr. Barry Smith, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, dial 905-725-1907. Toll free in North America, 1-866-905-7325. Worldwide, 1-866-656-5477. Send us an email right now. Our email address is thishouseofmusicians@gmail.com and instudio101@gmail.com.
You can ride in with your people, you can ride in all alone. Life is always better than just sitting on your phone. The tunes are blaring out the fair and wind is in your hair. We'll get there when we get there, cause we just don't have a care. Whoa, whoa, take a ride today.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your host of This House of Musicians, the Baritone Bear, Mr. Barry Smith.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to This House of Musicians on Reality Radio 101. We hope you enjoy the next hour with us as we do our small part to help keep music alive. So, Gary, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. We have Seb Agnello on the show tonight.
Yay!
Seb, and boy, this guy has done so much stuff in the music business. It's unbelievable.
A legend.
So I'm very excited. A legend. I'm excited to have him. I know we're in for some really good stories and some good songs that we're going to play that are his too. So welcome, Seb. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're good. Well, we're the ones that are ecstatic to have you. We're over the moon. So, before we get to Seb, I just want to mention Gary. If you want to just sit for one sec, Seb, I just want to ask Gary a couple of things about his band because I know he's doing real well with the band Walker's K right now around the world. He's number one in South Africa and also in a couple of other countries doing really, really well. Now, I know we talked a bit about your band a little bit last week, Gary, and you had some interesting stories to tell about it, but I want to touch on, before we get to Seb this week, I want to touch on, I know you've toured the world and you've opened up for such prominent acts as Bryan Adams, Eddie Money, Oreo Speedwagon, April Wine, Kay's Choice, and Loverboy. I mean, these are all huge bands. And very exciting. So I'd like to just ask you maybe about a couple of playing with a couple of these guys. Now, is there anybody in particular that you have opened for that you have a story to tell about them, maybe behind stage or how cool they were or something like that?
How much time do we have? No.
Well,
you know,
got to be quick. We got Seb waiting there.
No, I know. No, you know what? In all reality, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of times the management and tour companies keep us separated, not for any main reason, but we ate, a lot of times communal dinners and we everyone was in everyone else's bus and stuff like that. But basically, no, everyone was great. God rest Eddie Money's soul. He passed on. But it was all great and a great experience. Nothing way out of the norm.
Right, excellent. And what was your favorite band to open up for? Do you think?
I think Bryan Adams, because we did 6 months with him, and he treated us really well. His management group, and I love his music, so I think it was
Absolutely.
pretty good. Yeah.
And what a singer!
Yeah, it was great.
Well, good. Okay. And so Walker's K now, Gary. What's going on this week?
A lot of interviews.
Any new news?
No, we're just doing plenty of more interviews. Of course, we can't rehearse or get in the studio or anything because of social distancing. So it's just basically promoting the 2 new songs that we released 2 weeks ago, and that's basically what's going on.
Awesome. Well, folks out there, to the listener, if you get a chance, anytime at all, check out Walker's K online. That's Walkers, Walker's K, Cay. Have a listen to them and check them out online. Gary's a great singer, and they're all great musicians. Seb, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. We've known each other for how long, Seb? 25 years or more?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
A long time. I remember seeing you quite often playing downtown in Toronto at gigs and stuff. So definitely, it's been quite a long time that we've known each other. So it's a pleasure to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Now, Seb, are you still playing live? You're still playing live out there?
Oh yeah, I'm still doing my weekly shows at the Black Swan every Monday night, Acoustic Mondays. I've been doing that. Oh God, we're going on to now 9 years. And
wow.
Except with this COVID-19, the club shut down last month. So so I'm on hiatus right now.
Absolutely. And is that the only place you're playing for people to come see you?
Yeah, that's my steady gig. And plus I do, the one-nighters. I do like the Winter Folk Festival and do other one-nighters all over the city. But they've all been canceled.
Well, of course, yeah. We're all laying low in our pajamas right now, so
exactly.
Aren't we? So there you go, and that's great. Now, Seb, I want to talk about, my friend, something very exciting to me is you had a hit song when you were 14 on CHUM Radio with a band called the Lords of London. Is that right?
That's correct.
Well, tell me a little bit about that history way back then and what year it was and that stuff.
Oh, wow. Well, it hit. We were the second Canadian band to ever have a #1 record on CHUM. The first band was Richie Knight and the Midnights with Charlena, which was in 1963. Our song, Cornflakes and Ice Cream, hit #1 August of 1967. And basically, the Lords of London started, most of us went to grade 7, Earl Grey Public School, and
sure.
we started there, and it all evolved, and hey, stuff happens.
That's amazing. And back in that day, you opened for Jimi Hendrix, did you not?
It was a little later. That was with a different band called Spuff.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it was exactly 51 years ago this week. It was May the 3rd, 1969, that our band Spuff opened up for Jimi Hendrix at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Jeez. What was that like,
May
brother?
the 3rd.
What was that like, Seb?
That wasn't the Lords. That wasn't the Lords of London. That was a band called
you know
Spuff.
what? I should have done my research better. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Spuff was a great band. It featured Paul Ryan, lead vocals, Clint Ryan on bass and vocals, Andy Kelly on drums, and myself playing half the tunes on guitar, half the tunes on keyboards. And
nice.
We were a great band, loved the band. We recorded one album for Mainstream Records in New York, which was never released because of politics. But,
wow.
I don't like to, I don't like to speak ill of the dead. But basically, the guy that signed us wanted us to sign him as manager agent, and I refused, so they wouldn't release the album.
Jeez.
But it was okay. All the boys in the band did great. Paul Ryan and Clint Ryan, they both went on, like a year later, to be the lead stars in Toronto's musical Hair.
Okay, sure.
That's the Ryan brothers.
That's fantastic.
Great, talented people.
Excellent. And now, so you and so with that band, you opened for Hendrix. Now, I want to talk about what it was like opening for Jimi Hendrix, brother. You got to tell me.
Okay, well.
Okay, well.
It's weird. It's weird. Okay, I'm going to leave out some of the details for
of course.
Obvious reasons. But
tell us some stories.
Yeah, but basically, that was the night that he got busted at the airport.
Wow.
And we were told, us and the other opening act was Cat Mother and the All Night Newsboys. And we were told, each band, each opening act, to play an extra 20 minutes because Jimmy was going to be late. But they didn't tell us why he was going to be late. So anyway, we played the show. It was a great show. He wasn't, I love Hendrix, but it didn't look like he was very happy. And then we found out later why, because he'd been busted for heroin at the airport.
Jeez.
Anyway, after the show, the drummer, Mitch Mitchell, he wanted to go party. And we said, okay. So him and I and a couple of other fellows went to Yorkville to party. Well, around 12:30, 1 o'clock or whatever, Mitch was hungry, wanted to get something to eat. And in those days, restaurants used to close really early. There was no place to eat. So I said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So I phoned my mother, woke her up. We took a cab home, and we had pasta at my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's my story.
That's amazing. That's great. Absolutely. Mitch Mitchell, eh?
Yeah. He passed away a few years ago, unfortunately.
Right. Yes. Great drummer, and just the Mitch Mitchell and Jimi Hendrix experience. Oh man, I mean, that's legendary stuff, of course. So now, you were born in Toronto, were you, Seb?
No, I wasn't.
Where were you born?
I was born in a little town in Sicily.
Oh, geez, there you go.
Yeah,
and how did? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, immigrated here when I was 4.5 years old.
Okay, and how did you first discover that you like music?
I don't know. I always liked music. In fact, I hear about it, I don't really remember, but apparently when we were on the boat coming over, apparently I couldn't stand being in the cabin because everybody was seasick, and I wasn't seasick. I didn't like the smell, and I would run up and down the aisles and sing songs. So I've been told.
Jeez, that's where it all started, I guess.
I just love music. It seems natural to me. I just love music.
Oh, don't we all, eh? Don't we all? So that's and so now, who are your inspirations growing up?
Oh my God! Oh geez, like from day one, like I love early Johnny Cash. I loved Elvis Presley. You name it, from the 50s on, since I was a kid. Constantly. And then of course, as I got a little bit older, by the time I was like 9, 10, I was into the songwriters. The Bob Dylans, the Phil Oaks. People like that. I love it all. Music is awesome.
Oh, isn't it? We all love it. I mean, absolutely. Definitely, it jingles the soul, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It's a go-to for sure with any kind of emotions. It's a go-to. So you say you play bass and guitar. Which do you like better, Seb?
Oh, I play drums. I play keyboards. I played French horn in the grade 5 school band. I played tenor sax in the grade 9 school band. I just love music.
Yeah, good for you. That's excellent. Now we're going to listen to one of your songs here, Seb. I'm interested to get the story on this one, and okay. It's called Uma Pema Raju, and I had to listen to the song, and I realized that she's a news anchor. This girl, Uma Pemaraju. So why don't you? We'll cue that song up, but before we play it, why don't you give us a little insight on that song that you wrote?
Okay. Well, as you know, I'm a news junkie. All right. We have what is it, like 1,000 channels on TV, and I only watch the news channels. Anyway, I'm a news junkie. So my daughter and I think it was Adrian. This was a long time ago. My daughter Adrian and I were watching CNN, and that was during the time that the president of Iran was a guy named Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, right? And no matter who spoke about him, they couldn't pronounce his name. So my daughter and I kept practicing Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Then I changed the channel to CP24, and you hear, oh, I'm Pooja Honda. So we go, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Pooja Honda, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Pooja Honda. Then I turned to Fox News, and the anchor lady said, I'm Uma Pamaraju. So we went, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Pooja Honda, Uma Pamaraju. So I wrote a song about the local headlines. I'm Uma Pamaraju.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Funny story right there. And so does your daughter still say that?
No, she's outgrown my silliness.
Absolutely outgrowing your silliness. Let me read an email real quick here, Seb. It says, hi, wow, Seb is on the air. He reminds me of Willie Nelson. Thanks for the cool show. And that's from Elise B. from New York City. So thank you for that email, Elise. So, Seb, sorry, I'm just looking at some other emails here. Why don't we go ahead and let's play this song, Seb, that you wrote called Uma Pamaraju. Let's go ahead and play that.
Here's what's happening in the news tonight. Terrorist killed in a military strike. Man shoots a judge, then kills his own wife, and there's a mudslide near LA. The president said in his weekly address, the economy is good, no need to stress. Tornadoes in Kansas and the Sudan is a mess. That's the latest news. I'm Uma Pamaraju. I'm Uma Pamaraju. We all know the UN ain't strong. The left is in the dark and the right is all wrong. Air America sings a swan song and O'Reilly blow V8s. Hannity and Combs, now there's a fine pair. Savage and Franken make me pull up my hair. Miller and Stewart and Stephen Colbert, that's fair and balanced news. I'm Uma Pamaraju. I'm Uma Pamaraju. Howard Stern is finally free. No more fines from the FCC. You can pay for the BBC, or you can watch The View. I'm Uma Pamaraju. I'm Uma Pamaraju. Some folks think the earth is getting hot. Others believe it's a socialist plot. Take from the haves and give to have-nots. That's the way you'll save the world. Thousands of channels for you to troll. It's all right there in your remote control. Just press the button that says scroll. The choice is up to you. I'm Uma Pamaraju. I'm Uma Pamaraju.
Awesome, Seb.
Thank you.
That's fabulous. Now, has Uma Pamaraju ever heard that song, Seb?
I don't think so.
No.
She's no longer at Fox. I didn't want to bother her, you know.
That's funny. So we have another email here from Bonnie C, and it says, love the pasta story, Seb, a true Italian family. So there you go. Seb, I want to ask you, my friend, what is your creative process when you're writing a song? Like, I know that I usually pick up the acoustic and come up with a melody, maybe 10 seconds or 15 seconds of a melody, and then, record it on my phone, just the melody, and then revisit it maybe 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks later when I'm seriously wanting to write a song. Of course, now I have 50 melodies on my phone here, but revisit it a few weeks later and turn it into a song and then go record it. What's your process?
Well, I don't write anything down. I think of a line, and as soon as I think of the line, I automatically hear the music that goes behind it. And then once I've got, let's say, a verse or so, I just keep it in my mind. If I remember it the next day or the day after that, I'll keep finishing it. But if I don't remember it, then it goes out the window. I write in my head. Once I've got at least 2 verses and a chorus in my head, then I'll pick up an instrument and make sure that the music I hear in my head, I can actually works on the guitar or the keyboard, depending on what I'm using at the time.
Sure. That's excellent.
It's all in my head. I do it all in my head. If I can't remember it, it wasn't worth saving.
Well, geez, see, now that's pretty brilliant, because here's what I do. I'll go record a song, and this is awful to say, but I'll go record a song, and then 2 weeks later, I got to fiddle with it for 10 minutes on a guitar to figure it out. Terrible. We got another email from Carl S., and he says, where'd it go? Hey, everyone, loving the show. Nice entertainment. Very cool. Stay healthy. Thank you, Carl. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. So, Seb, now, you know how our tastes change. At least mine has since I was younger. For example, I remember being in school, and there was a girl that loved Jim Morrison and the Doors. It was just her thing every day, all day long. And I never got that. But, you know, I'm 55 now. I'm talking about high school. And now I just think the Doors are fabulous. I mean, you know, what bands have you not liked, or, you know, our music taste changed over the years, do you think?
No. Like, I still like what I liked then. You know, I liked Lefty Frizzell. I liked the Zombies, you know. I like the Four Seasons. Once something is great, it's always great, you know.
True enough. What about the new music?
To be honest with you, you know, I'm really out of touch, you know. Since the last thing I really got into was, I liked rap, you know, Public Enemy and those guys. I got into that, and then ever since then, I guess I've just don't pay much attention anymore, because I think radio has gone, I shouldn't say to the dogs, but I just don't listen to radio that much anymore.
Right. Well, you know what? We're old farts. So indeed, the music is not like it used to be. Not to, you know, there are some good new stuff as well. Over the last 20 years, there's been some wonderful bands, but
no, of course,
you know, but the old stuff is really where it's at for me, man. I mean, and you know, I think a lot of us old farts feel like that too. We got another email. This is from, I'll surprise you at the end, Seb. I think he must know you. It says, hello, everyone. Great hearing Sebastian is alive and well. Well, that's a good thing, Seb. You're alive. That's good. And it says, good to hear Sebastian is alive and well in the big smoke. Take care, my brother. That's from Danny Taylor.
Oh, right on. Thank you, Danny. Do you know who Danny Taylor is?
I don't.
Well,
are we going to get him on the show?
Right now. I'll tell you. Danny Taylor was the drummer for the Lords of London.
Wow, that's just too cool.
He was also the drummer for Nucleus. Plus, he was also the drummer for Foot and Coldwater, and was just awarded an award for writing "Make Me Do Anything You Want." He wrote that song. Hi, Danny.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yep. And
great to hear from you, Danny. Pardon? Sorry, go ahead, Seb.
Barry, he's a neighbor of yours. Doesn't live too far from where you do.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, you know,
Great.
we're just going to take, Seb, bear with us, brother. Get a sandwich. We're just going to take a quick pause for a commercial here. Sorry. I'm just looking at something here on the paper, and I've got to get with this, but no, hang in there. Definitely we're going to take a pause for the cause for our sponsor of the show. We really want to promote our sponsor. So we're just going to take a quick pause, and then we'll come back.
All right. So, Barry, I have a question for you.
Yes,
now,
sir.
where can you go to love and enjoy motorcycles and live music? Do you have any idea?
Let me think about this for a sec. Does it start with a C?
I think it does.
How about, would I be right in saying Classy Chassis and Cycles?
You got
near
it.
Lakefield?
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, Classy Chassis and Cycles, motorcycles and live music. It doesn't get much better than that. Plus, if you go there, you can get your motorcycle service by V-Twin Performance Specialists. The best in the business, no doubt. There's always 100 motorcycles in stock. And the best part about this is not only the music and motorcycles, there is a food truck on site. Think about it. Great food on site, the home of the best motorcycle and live music events in Ontario, of course, when we're allowed to do that again. But here's what you need to do. You need to go to Classy Chassis and Cycles, their website. Their website is usedhd.ca. That's usedhd.ca, or you can call them at 888-292-8305. That number again, 888-292-8305, or send them an email, info@usedhd.ca. Brought to you by Classy Chassis and Cycles. There you go, Barry.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you that Josh and Charlene are good friends of ours, and they we have a riding group, and they have a barbecue for us once a year, and they also do bike nights every Wednesday nights, I believe it is. They do a bike night for our riding group and raise a lot of money for sick kids. So Josh and Charlene have been there from day one, and they really chimed in with our group. So we really appreciate them sponsoring the show.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to them.
Yep. And we have a new email. This is from Cindy Y, and it says, "Hi, nice show. Hello, Sep. keep on rocking." And she's listening from Seattle, Washington, the grunge home,
Cindy.
the home of grunge.
Hello, Cindy.
So that's great. Okay, I'm going to just take a quick break, Seb, for 1 sec. Bear with me here. I got the computer doing all kinds of crazy things here, but I just want to do a little, where'd it go? This day in music history. Actually, this is crazy stories in music history. Sorry about that, listeners. This is a story I want to tell you about, well, it's this segment of the show is called Crazy Music Facts, or don't worry, I will get my crap together here sooner or later. Crazy Music Facts, or as I like to call it, what in the diminished triad chord were you thinking? There is a girl out there named Cynthia Plaster-Caster. So here's a crazy music story I want to tell everybody. And though she's not a rock star, Cynthia L. Britton, a.k.a. Cynthia Plaster-Caster, has gotten closer to most rock stars than almost anybody else. This Chicago artist and self-proclaimed recovering groupie is responsible for creating plaster molds, get this, of penises of more than 50 rock stars in the 1960s. And by all accounts, Jimi Hendrix was Cynthia's Plaster-Caster's first subject. She met him in Chicago in 1968 and has said that he was extremely easy to work with and her favorite of all subjects. Well, as I say, what in the diminished triad were you thinking? So there's my segment on crazy rock stories. Here's an email, guys, from Stephen C, and it says rock on, and effing, which this is a family show, so I'm just gonna say effing. I think we all know what that means. Or is that still bad, Gary? Effing? I don't know.
No,
effing.
You could say whatever you wish.
Okay, rock on, and effing rock on. Excellent. That's from Stephen C. Seb, let's get back to what do you have on the go at the moment, my friend?
Well, like I said, I'm just I like doing my Monday nights at the Black Swan, and I'm in the studio down here in my studio, and that's about it. And I do one-nighters, like I said. I do the Winter Folk Festival, and I do one-nighters here and there, and I just try to keep busy.
Good for you. Here's another email, Seb. Your old LA roadie like to know what's the future of live rock and roll in Toronto and in Ontario. So he's asking, Seb, this is from Gary W. He's asking, what is the future of live rock and roll? I mean, it's kind of been dying for the last who knows how long, 30, 40 years. I shouldn't say dying. I should say, you know what? I guess it's just so expensive for people to go out, enjoy a few drinks and watch a band. Now, don't get me wrong. People still do it. And we're actually doing this show to help promote music and get people out to see, some bands, if we can just help a little bit. But what's your take on that?
It's really rough. I can't predict, but it's been rough, and here's my thing, okay, and people disagree with me. Well, that's all right. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Live music started dying once they banned smoking in bars. People that smoke, drink, they go to bars and listen to music. As soon as they did that, all of a sudden, the first thing that the bar owners did was let go of the musicians. The second thing they did was let go of their staff, and it's gotten worse ever since. I mean, I'm not promoting smoking because I know it's bad for you and causes cancer. I know all that. But I'm just saying that's what started killing live music in bars. And that's it. And that's all I can say.
Isn't that something? Yeah, I never even thought about that before, that was one of the reasons why. But we have it now. I'm not gonna be afraid to, depending on how radical it is, I'm not going to be afraid to read out any emails. So I'm going to read this one. I want you to respond to it, Seb, because I'm not 100% sure, but it's from Carl S. and he's listening to the show. He says, great song, which is from Yuma Pem Araju. Great song, but pretty left wing. What do you have to say to that, Seb?
Actually, I've been accused of being right wing. So I guess I'm doing something right, and both of them don't know where I'm coming from.
Hey, you got fans on both sides, brother.
There you go. I love it.
There you go. Here's
politically, I don't like the left thinks I'm to the right of Attila the Hun. The right thinks I'm a Bolshevik. So I'm doing something right.
Well, you're a very political writer. Yeah, good for you. Hey, if you got fans coming from either side, good for you, brother. You know what they say, bad, but the bad things that you do, it gets you popular too. You know what they say. So
there you go.
Not that I'm saying you're doing anything bad, but here's one from Rhonda Smith. It says, from Rhonda. It says, hi, I'm not sure how long your radio show has been on the air, but I'm a first-time listener from Whitby, Ontario. That's close to us. Thanks for the entertainment. We are bored out of our minds, and this is a gift to us listening. Thanks. Well, hey, we hope you continue listening, Rhonda, after we all get back to normal, if the show's still going. Here's one from Don D. Sorry, Seb. I'd just like to keep the listeners the listener in with us, involved in the show. Hi, Barry. Hilarious about the casting groupie. There was a TV special about her. She was world famous. Love, Seb, and your show. That's from Don.
Awesome. Oh, keep it up. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the emails. I can't believe I'm getting emails. That's just so amazing. But Seb, we're going to do another one of your songs, my friend. And I want you to introduce this song. It's called Play Your Cheating Heart. How did you come by writing this song?
Oh, all right. Well, in the early 80s, throughout all my career, but in the early 80s, I was playing in an original band called Scab, right, which was basically a punk band, right? And we do one-nighters at, Larry's Hideaway, the Isabella, et cetera, et cetera. But during the week, we also play in a country band, Sebastian Country. So we do country like half of the week and punk the other half. Anyway, this one time we did 17 country shows in 13 days. We were burnt, like 6 nights a week and a matinee, plus the Matador, Friday and Saturday, Sunday afternoon show, then another 6 nights and a matinee at the Edgewater, and I was burnt. Now, at the end of the Saturday, the 13 days, I didn't drive. So you remember the Edgewater? It used to be at Roncesvalles and Queen Street West, way out in the west end of Toronto.
Yep, the Edgewater. Anyway, yep, Tobico.
So, that's right, way out there. So anyway, at the end of the Saturday, like I said, we're burnt out. 17 shows in 13 days, and so I took a cab from there to East York, where I live. Now, my bass player, who lives in the West End, he was worried about me, right? Making sure I get home okay. And he lived at Lansdowne and Bloor, which isn't that far from the Edgewater. So anyway, when I got home, about half an hour later, the phone rings, and it was my bass player, just to make sure I got home okay, right? And I went, yeah, I'm burnt out, but yeah, I'm cool. I'm here in my living room, blah, blah. Anyway, while we were talking, I guess I passed out with a phone under my ear, right? And I guess this worried him. So he took a taxi from Lansdowne and Bloor all the way to East York, knocked on the door, woke up my wife to make sure I was okay. And she said, oh, yeah, he's passed out on the living room floor. It's okay. Anyway, so she made sure he had cab fare to get back home, right, back to the West End. Anyway, in the morning, when I woke up, I had 2 verses and the chorus of this song that you're going to hear next. And it just describes what life was like playing in country bars in those days. We used to call them bucket of bloods. And that's what this song's about.
Oh, great. Well, let's hear it then. And this song's called Play Your Cheating Heart. That's excellent, Seb.
I won't last too much longer in these bar rooms. You know, I feel myself about to sing. All the faces that I meet inside these dark rooms, all they wanna do is fight and drink. So I try and tell them about the hungry children, how we can help if we do our part. But they stare at me like I come from some other planet. Then someone yells out, play your cheating heart. Play your cheating heart, yell the crowd. They wanna hear it for the millionth time. I guess old Hank would be proud. Play your cheating heart, yell the crowd. Then someone says, hey, play me a Merle Haggard and I'll buy you a drink. I politely tell him, why, thank you, but no thanks. He says, well, if you don't know any of Hagg's tunes, boy, well, I'll understand. So instead, why don't you play me one of them good old songs by Hank? I tell him I don't wanna sing no sad songs. Not that
tired old story about a woman leaving her man. But no one in the crowd is even listening, so I guess I'll play your cheating heart again. Play your cheating heart, yell the crowd. They wanna hear it for the millionth time. I guess old Hank would be proud. Play your cheating heart, yell the crowd. Play your cheating heart, yell the crowd.
Nice, Seb.
Thank you.
Seb, how many times have we, if we had a buck for every time we played Your Cheating Heart? But of course, now you have this song to play instead of Your Cheating Heart, which is about Your Cheating Heart. Great song.
Yes.
We got an email, Seb, from Frank B. And he's from Oakland, California. Wow, how cool is that? Getting these emails from all over the country and North America and other parts of the world too. Frank B says, now that is country, not like the crap they write today. And you know what? I'm going to agree with them. There's some stuff. There are some good country artists today, but not like how it used to be with Merle and Johnny Cash and all those guys. I mean, it really did change up, didn't it, Seb? But hang on, now it says that. Now that's country music, not like the crap they write today, and call it country. Thanks, Seb. Love you guys. Frank from Oakland, CA. Yeah, let's talk about how the music changed, the country music, Seb. What happened there? It went off.
Well, what happened was that it got sold out. They wanted to become pop stars. So, and then they called it, what was it, modern country or alt country. It just became pop music. And we lost the Lefties and the Hanks and the Merles. I don't know. It just changed. People say it evolved for radio, but it just changed.
It changed, and they stopped playing all those old good guys too. I mean, there may be the odd radio station that still plays that stuff, but and people become adapted to what's playing on the radio. They really do. I'm sure there's country people out there that don't even know who Merle Haggard is. You know, the new country fans are listening to the new stuff, and it really was a shame when they stopped playing them all. It really was.
Well, that's when radio changed. Radio changed.
Radio is going to stay, you're right, it did. And radio is going to stay with what's popular of the day, right, to sell what they can sell and whatnot. And that's just normal. I mean, that's absolutely normal for that to be like that. But it is a shame that they kind of swept all the older country musicians under the rug, so to say. I'm going to do a little thing here I like to call This Day in Music. So this day in music, folks, in 1956, bear with me there, Seb, Elvis Presley scored his first U.S. #1 single and album. So again, his first U.S. #1 single in 56 with Heartbreak Hotel. It went to the top of the charts. Heartbreak Hotel became his first million seller, and was the best selling single of 1956. And then after that, of course, bang, look what happened. I mean, like it was just crazy with Elvis. The lyrics were based on a newspaper article about the suicide of a lonely man who jumped from a hotel window. So that's something I did not know whatsoever. And also in 1969, the Beatles single Get Back was released in the U.S. John Lennon claimed in 1980 that there's some underlying thing about Yoko in there, claiming that Paul McCartney looked at Yoko Ono in the studio every time he sang Get Back to Where You Once Belonged. So now, Seb, I'm not going to blame Yoko for breaking up the Beatles. I think they were probably almost on their way out. You know what it's like touring with three other guys in a band, and after so long. But you know, I'm sure that was the crack that broke the camel's back, or the straw that broke the camel's back. But there we go. So now, Seb, what would you be doing, my man, if you were not doing music? What would you be doing?
Oh my God!
Do you think? Did you study anything in school?
No, I never finished grade 10.
Me neither.
Then, no, I never finished grade 10. I was on the road, you know. But then about 10 years later, I did apply to university and went to York University as a mature student. And I studied philosophy, mostly metaphysics and ethics. Yep.
So
that was it. I don't know what I do. I can't imagine me doing anything
except for music.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. What is now? You know, I gotta ask you this question because I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this. You also opened for Frank Zappa. I mean, Frank Zappa and the Mothers. What a unique band. What a unique guy, man. First of all, he's so unique that it made him famous. What was that like opening up for Zappa?
Oh, he was amazing. One of my all-time heroes from day one, from the Freak Out album on. Just, I couldn't get enough of Frank. He was so real. He didn't bull. You know, he was so real. He told true stories. Well, all right, we got the gig. All right, okay. Here's my story. Anyway,
yes, man.
As I remember it. You know,
tell it to me.
When they went on, the drummer Jimmy Carl Black. He was pouring a beer in a milkshake container and then hiding the beer bottle behind his drum kit, right?
We've all done that.
So obviously he can't be doing that while he's playing. So he asked me to do it for him. So for the first 3 songs that they were on stage, I was on stage behind the drummer, filling his milkshake container with beer, right? and crawling on my knees, right? So nobody could see me, and put it beside his foot, right? His kick drum foot. And then till the guys in my band, right there, the dressing room at the rock pile was upstairs, right? And there's a window looking down on the stage. And I could see Clint and Paul, like, looking down at me, waving at me, telling me, like, get the hell out of there, right? So I did. But anyway, then I saw the rest of the show from the dressing room.
That's amazing. So that's certainly a night you'll never forget.
Oh, of course. I'm pouring beer in a milkshake container behind Jimmy Carl Black's drum kit.
That is too cool, brother. What an amazing story. Seb, we got another email. Sorry, go ahead, Seb.
They were amazing.
We got another email, Seb, for you. This could be something special for you. Hey, I'm sitting here in Vancouver listening to the interview. I have the fondest memories of working with you, Clint and Andy, in Spuff. Keep rocking, my friend. Cheers, Paul Ryan.
Wow. See, there you go. He's my man, my lead singer. One of the greatest singers in the world.
Yep, that's awesome. Here's one that says, from Pete Kinsanke of Flood.
Oh, Pete Sankey. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Sankey of Flood. It doesn't really, that's what it says, and it's got a happy face on it.
Right on.
Who's Pete, Seb?
He was a keyboard player for Flood.
Right, you mentioned it earlier.
There you go.
Absolutely. Tell me, now we all have crazy stories of playing live in bars and venues. Tell me something crazy that's happened while you were playing live or after the show or something with one of your bands.
Nah.
It's gotta be clean, Seb.
I can't think. I can't think.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's pretty good, you know. I don't think we were really that outrageous, to be honest.
No, but something crazy always happens. I remember playing at the Greeks, which is a small little tiny 30-person bar I think it's on Spadina, down there somewhere. I can't remember the Greeks, but I'm going back maybe 30 years here. Me and Ben Haynes we were standing on stage doing a duet, me and Ben Haynes with our guitars, and I started playing Kalijah. The Hank Williams song Kalijah.
Yeah.
And there was a native man and a native woman in all leather, both of them, standing at the bar. Well, as soon as I started playing Kalijah, here comes a full beer bottle right between mine and Ben Haynes's head and smashed on the wall behind us. Well,
ouch.
It freaked us out, but Ben packed up his stuff. I never stopped playing. He packed up his stuff and left. And it was just crazy. I mean, it was okay. I got his money. He left. I got his money too, so that was okay. But but afterwards, the native fella came up and said, "Sorry, my wife gets a little crazy sometimes." So there's a full beer bottle. That's why I was asking about if you had any crazy stories like that.
Oh, I can't think of any. I'm sure lots of stuff happened. I just can't. Think
yeah,
of
absolutely. Doesn't it always? Gary, am I forgetting anything here, my friend?
No, you're good to go.
Good. I just want to make sure we did our sponsorship. We are definitely doing lots of emails right now too, which is I'm over the moon. That's just amazing. Seb, now what do you have a home studio? Do you do a lot of your recordings and stuff on your home studio now?
Yes, I always have for the last 25 years.
Well, tell me the story. Tell me the story about how you record an album.
Oh,
you do all the instruments yourself and whatnot?
Yes, I have a really nice old antique drum machine that I don't keep a beat. I actually program every beat, and for the whole song, and then I layer instruments, till I got the whole thing done, and then for some of the albums, I would send the tracks to like I mentioned earlier, to you when we were off the air, and I don't want to repeat it, but send it to my drummer, Michael, and
right.
He would lay down real drums and blah, 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 and I, send it back to me, and I do everything at home, and sometimes I just play my own drums.
Awesome.
Yeah, everything's done here. I got all the toys.
Well, that's great when you're able to do that.
Yeah, and also I was also the very first. I realized when the whole CD movement was happening, it was so expensive to put out a CD. You'd have to order at least 1,000 of them, and then after recording and all that, it would cost you $7 for each CD, and you have to order a minimum 1,000 of them, not counting, the graphics and blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of money. So what I did is I checked it out with some tech friends of mine, and I went out and bought the equipment. I bought equipment that you could burn your own CDs, special CDs that you could actually print on them, a special printer that you could print on it. And I started making CDs for all my friends who couldn't afford 1,000 CDs at a time. And I would say, hey, you want 5 CDs? It'll cost you $5 each per CD, minimum of 5. And I started doing that in 1995.
That's amazing. And I had a 10-year anniversary of an ICO album that I did at Ralph McDonald's house, Sioux Studios, and what a time we had. Memories, are lit up in my mind all the time, and will never be forgotten. With Randy Adams and Dennis Kahn and Bill Ritchie and Frank Lejeune. Boy, we had a great time recording at Sioux Studios with Ralph McDonald. Now, isn't it crazy how things change so quickly? So you got this CD setup thing, and then 3 days later, there's no more CDs. They go out of fashion.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, that's the way it works.
That's the way it is. So we got an email here. Absolutely. We got an email from Doug Robertson. He says, great show, Barry. Keep it up, bud. Thank you for the confidence, Doug, because I'm still a little bit nervous, brother, but we'll get through it. Definitely get through it. Seb, we're going to play another song of yours, my man.
Okay.
And this one is called Modern Day Cowboy. Why don't we touch on that for a bit and how you wrote it and whatnot, and we'll get that queued up for you. Modern Day Cowboy.
All right. Well, I think you'll appreciate this one because I know you are a Harley rider. The Harley Riders of Canada, right?
HD Rock, Harley Davidson Riders of Canada, is a group I started in 2011. We have about 5,600 members now, and We just have a lot of amazing people in the group, and we ride around and do events and whatnot, and we raise money for sick kids. All together, since 2011, we've raised, or 2012, sorry, Palmer, if you're listening, we have raised $86,000 for sick kids.
Right on.
That's
All
what
right.
we do.
Well, yep, that's excellent, and I think you'll appreciate this. All right, this song was written for I grew up. When I grew up, it seems that everybody in my neighborhood belonged to a motorcycle club, whether it was the Vads, the Satan's Choice, the Paradise Riders, right? Like, I grew up with them. They were all older than me, but I grew up with them. Anyway, I wrote this song for a very good friend of mine who was in the Satan's Choice for his 50th birthday. And if you look at the album, it comes from an album called Modern Day Cowboy. And if you look at the album cover, you'll see 3 bikers with 3 Harleys. Anyway.
Okay, yep.
My good friend, he's the one on the far left. That's who I wrote the song about. The guy on the far right is his younger brother, who a few years after I wrote the song, died in a camping trip. Okay, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't alcohol. At the age of 38, he had a heart attack, while he was camping.
Wow.
So I decided to finally record the song that I wrote for his brother, right? And not only that, I did it as a tribute to him, but I also included songs on the album that he used to request for me to play. So it's like 3 originals and 6 covers of songs that he used to request, so I did the album and I dedicated it to Lyle Valentine. And
that's very nice.
From. And if you listen to the song, I think you'll get the message.
Yep, thank you, Seb. Let's go ahead and listen to Modern Day Cowboy.
Of being wild and free. They make movies about him we watch on TV. He's a modern day cowboy that some folks don't like. He don't ride a horse, he rides a big bike that was made in America, not in Japan. He's a motorcycle man. Time when he dances and drinks, and there ain't nothing better than to hear Haggard sing. So he'll pick up a guitar and maybe strum along and think about Hank and his heroes long gone. 'Cause he's a modern day cowboy that some folks don't like. He don't ride a horse, he rides a big bike that was made in America, not in Japan. He's a motorcycle man.
Fabulous song, Seb. Wonderful song, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing song and well done, too. We have another email here from Jake W. It says, love the show. Excellent. Thanks, from Daytona, Florida. Well, you know what, listeners out there, we really appreciate the emails. It sure gives us a lot of confidence to keep moving forward, and we appreciate interacting with all of you out there, excuse me, in Radio Land. So thank you so much for that. Seb, what can I say, brother? I've known you for a very, very long time, and you have great music, and you have 7 albums. Is that correct? 7 albums out?
Yeah, you can listen to all 7 of them on my website, and it's all free.
Tell them your website, Turtle Shell. Go ahead, friend.
TurtleShellMusic.com. Just click on the album, and each album has its own player. So if you don't like the song, you can fast forward it.
All right, well, they're going to like the song. That's TurtleShellMusic.com. Seb, again, thank you so much for being here with us. And to the listener, I say thank you for being here, and always dance and sing, and let the music bring your soul to the surface for all the world to see. Until next time, have a shuffle your feet kind of week, and good night. You've been listening to This House of Musicians on Reality Radio 101.
Thank you for listening to This House of Musicians with your host, singer, songwriter, and founder of the band, Inner City Outlaws, The Baritone, with Barry Smith, right here on Reality Radio 101.
One way we're headed at 90K, over the two-lane causeway. We'll go left, it's gonna be a classy day. Kickstands down